us to not have any respect one for another.
Yeah, no, that
So
man.
we don't want to do stuff like that.
Exactly, exactly, and
You
that's
know
why I
what I'm
wanted
saying?
to.
But it's just common courtesy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That was my whole point because I'm coming back. I'm gonna be going back home, so I'm like, I need to just go make sure. You know what I mean? I don't know the movement. I don't know what it is right now because my pops
So
got
look,
us
let's
out of
say
there.
for
So
instance you go back to Mississippi to visit.
yeah,
All you got to do is find out who the old lady is in the family, and you check in with her. She gonna make sure everybody that need to know you there, and you on her watch. She gonna make it known.
okay,
You know.
all right, okay, and then yeah, I mean, I got a lot of questions for you, but I know you got stuff y'all gotta get done. So I'm just here for it. Whatever we gotta do.
All right, just
I'll check
keep
on in.
watching. We gonna answer some more questions before we end it.
All right, for sure. I appreciate you.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
He's telling us. But if you ain't one of the chiefs, you don't know what the fuck Noble Drew Ali really talking about.
Bars. What's up with it, Superior Minds? What you got for us?
Peace, peace. What's up, family? Peace to the
Peace,
panel.
beloved, peace.
Peace, peace, Chief. Brother, I appreciate you coming through, man. Man, I listened to one of your bills for the first time, and tonight I'm listening to you, and you saying some things that I could correlate with and relate to because I've heard them from other people or I've either researched them. But there are some spiritual things that you said that I know. I said there's no way that he got that from a man. That's something that he's gotten from a download. And one of the things that stuck to me was when I heard you say Conjure Wars, and you went into it, but you only dropped about 2 or 3 clicks on it. So my question for you tonight is, if you could explain to the audience to help the American Indian community understand what exactly the Conjure Wars are and how they are fought. Is it a physical war? Is it a spiritual war? Is it a war that's spiritual in its word, or is it a combination of both? And if you know who some of the players are in that war, physically, can you drop the family some on that? Appreciate you,
Okay,
brother.
so yeah, that's a good, excellent question. The Conjure Wars is fought between practitioners of varying different styles of voodoo and sorcery. The Conjure War that we was under, Feathers versus Fezzes, was a amnesia war that was fought by us having to struggle for enough knowledge to overcome the confusion as to who we really were. The agreement, the players, all of the fezzes that was surrendered for the Conjure War are lined up in the George Washington Memorial. You can see them online under images if you pull up George Washington Memorial Fez Museum. And it's going to show you the fezzes, and those are the names of the people on the fezzes that challenged us to a Conjure War. And if you pull up the Pope's most bloody oath, that was their agreement with the Pope to murder the kings, the chiefs, the kings, the princes, and the people of the land, which was us. If you pull up the George Washington challenge, it comes up and it leaves the feathers out of the challenge because it was us that had to discover who we was in order to reclaim our birthright to restore the land, air, and the water. The discovery came in from my part from being a witch doctor and knowing sorcery and being commissioned with compelling all of the sorcerers who had open conjures to close they conjure, which brought me to the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. If you look up Voodoo Cult of Islam, you will see there was newspapers back in the 1900s about the Moorish Science Temple being involved in voodoo. Now, when I started putting the pieces together, it didn't make sense because I'm always been taught that the enemy looked at like paleface. I never knew that the conjure war between us was for one of us to know which side of the water we originate from and where they came from to get here. This is in the George Washington challenge, right? Then they have the secret oath. All of these are documents you can find. The secret oath goes through all of the shit they was going to do to us. The government is ran according to a book called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. This is the principles of oppression that is the doctrine of white supremacy. It's a military strategy to use a cat's paw to conceal who the real power players is by giving you Plato's Republic played out in a stage show. So we had to become educated enough where we surpassed them in knowledge so that we can realize that we was already here. We didn't come on ships. We organic to the land and we wore feathers, and the invaders, conquistadors, blackamoors, the black nobility came after exile, they wore fezzes and turbans. So now we over here in a perpetual, what they call protracted struggle to remember who in the fuck we are. And I'm here to remind us that we wore feathers, they wore fezzes, we won, they lost, they have to leave, and we cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, bro. That's fire. But that's some clarification. Like I said, that's some things you drop spiritually that I catch personally, and I know that you can only get them. You have to be in touch with some sort of higher master teaching. It's not coming from a physical man. So when I say that, I'm saying two people can look at a document, right, at the same document, and what one person gets from reading that, they gonna see one thing, but then the spiritual eye is going to see the same thing that the physical eye sees, but then be able to tie that to the presence of a being, a real live sentient being. That's another level of it. So when I heard you speak again on the conjure war, and then just some of the things you were saying, I said, okay, you came on the show. I said, I was going to ask Top, man, can he go a little bit into that so that the family could get an understanding that it is a war of words. And the book, the Bible, is good and it's bad. It's a gift and a curse, but you have to have the eyes to see it because it's coded like that. Everything they do on this continent right here is in there, but you have to go through so many sources and layers to get to it, and you have to be willing to have a spiritual eye. If you ever try to approach it like that physically, you'll miss it. Right? I heard you say cat's paw. So what I've understood the cat's paw is the same thing as the lion's grip. That it's the same presentation when a brother in the brotherhood, they meet a brother. So the cat's paw, but then that's even looking at jaguar, the ancient culture of Mesoamerica, the jaguar, and the science behind the jaguar.
The jaguar is in over here is the same as a leopard in Africa and in the Far East India, and the jaguars are the pelts that the priests wear to identify them clearly among the people when they in traditional native garb. Where you have the stealth priests, these are warrior priests. They use conjure wars. They wear the Black Panther pelt because they are a war priest. So the priesthood is broke up into functions and functionality. The jaguar priests are the ones that deals with the most social issues. The stealth priests are the ones who deal with the spiritual warfare aspect. And when the spiritual warfare becomes physical, they are the advisors to the chiefs on how to approach warfare. So Tupac give you the flip Machiavelli. Machiavelli was the advisor to the Medici, and he wrote The Prince. So Tupac becomes the advisor, Panther priest, to one that he's saying, we need guerrilla tactics. When you call for guerrilla tactics, You call for the next gorilla clan to come in behind the Panther clan. They show it in Black Panther, the movie. The gorilla clan don't want to be the clan to rule, but before they let these foreigners rule, they'll take the power. The gorilla grip is the master grip. The lion's paw is the master grip. But when you say cat's paw, you're saying something different. A cat's paw is you use somebody to do your dirt so that you can't be seen for the dirt you do. And that was the great con game they was using on us. While they was using their understanding of the stars to map when we was coming back so they could murder us, we didn't know this was taking place in the Masonic lodges of the Scottish Rite. We didn't know. Noble Ali went in and discovered what they was doing was using voodoo on us and telling us voodoo was evil. And then the greatest defense for voodoo is fucking voodoo. You can't win a voodoo war if you don't use voodoo. That's spiritual warfare. It's being able to call on the lower spirits of the earth to come and aid you in restoring balance to nature by restoring the affairs of man to their proper order as a matriarchy. You won't know this if you can't read the energy signatures of the earth. They call that
Wow.
tapping the Akashic record.
Wow. That's interesting. You said about the you mentioned about the cat's paw. What do you think about when we look at the Florida panther, right? What they would call the Florida panther, which some biologists they label it as a cross between a African leopard and a indigenous jaguar. But in my research, when I looked at the range of it, right, from where it's from historic today to where it go all the way back to 1800. It's ironic that the same place is that all the tribes were. It's ironic that that's the same place that the range of the panther was, or the jaguar was. But what they have now is what they call a panther, which is just a genus class of it. It's not really the species. So we call them black jaguars, but they're labeling it as a leopard and or a hybrid mix between that African leopard and a jaguar.
No, we've been had black jaguars over here ever since jaguars been here. They pop up periodically in the species naturally. The same way that the black leopard is the black panther from Africa. Right? It still got spots, whether it's a jaguar or a leopard. But it's just black because of its function in nature. It serves a purpose, but the priesthood of the jaguar hold that sacred secret about the purpose of the black jaguar, right? I gave you the exoteric version of the stealth priests and advisors to the chiefs. The black leopard is from Africa. The black jaguar is from over here. And both of them are called black panthers. We also get black cougars over here. The ironic thing about a black cougar is it got spots like a jaguar. But the regular cougar don't have spots normally.
Right. That's a good question. So one more question now. I want to hog it up, brother. What do you think about and because this is just a topic that I've been working on for like the last month, and to go back to what, like you said, about places you go, we think we've been there, we haven't been there, we're the first ones to be there, and truth and reality is, spiritually, when you look at it, it's just an ancestor. We're just walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. So
we are our ancestors coming back to restore what we fucked up before.
Right. So with that being said, I looked at the length of time I've been here, and I'm in Central Florida, but I've been in Florida more than half of my life, and my people want me to move, but it's something about this land that I have a connection to, and I'm gonna tell you why real quickly. When I got ready to get out the army in 2002, right? My wife called at the time I was married. She's just messing around. She called a tarot card reader, and long story short, what the lady told me, she says that I see you around. You're gonna be surrounded by water on three sides. I had never been to Florida. I moved back to Atlanta. I moved to Florida 2 years once I got back to Atlanta, and I've been in Florida ever since. But I stayed close to the beach, and I'm a Scorpio. That's my sun and ascendant. So I've been surrounded by water on 3 sides, but it's something about the land. And I've always been in this area of the Timucua people. But just recently, that study resonated with me. And, you know, I sat and meditated on it, even just going through it. I took my time with it. And, you know, I've been there where these people have been. I see that, you know, I can sense that spiritually. So my point is that with those people, do you think that the descendants of those people, some of those people are still here in this region today, and that this theory that they are dead as a tribe is false? What's your take on the Timucua people and their ancestry?
Well, shit, they've been there longer than the settlers. Listen, those are parts of those tribes that fought in the Seminole War. They just call us Seminoles to indicate that we was mixed up from among the tribes across the land. We got a rich culture down there. The culture is written on everything down there. You can't hide it. We used to walk the trees from Florida to Louisiana without ever touching the ground. Those were the Skywalker clans, right? They burned down the trees and chopped them down because they couldn't get us out of the thicket. We used to run in the water. The alligators wouldn't attack us, but they would attack them. So they started baiting the alligators with our babies. This is what was going on the land. And they needed the alligators to develop a taste for our flesh because they wouldn't attack us, but they would attack the invaders. We used to ride alligators down the river. They swim us all the way down the river. Tap him with the stick, and he'll roll to the bank and drop your ass off and go on about his business. Once the invaders came, we can't ride alligators like that no more. The Sobek priestess has been spoiled by the invaders because that's the priesthood that used to ride the fucking alligators. And they had a Sobek priesthood in Africa where the crocodiles are. The crocodile was sacred over there. The alligator was sacred over here. So all of our culture is written all over the land, but they've given us misdirection as to what we see. You see that, but that's not what it means. That's the bullshit they run on us.
Damn,
but
that's heavy.
Those people been there, man. Been there. They lived in trees and shit. Literally, like, build your house in a tree. And they built roadways that you could walk on with rest stations for you to have guest quarters, and all of the big mamas would be lined up at intervals because they know how long you're going to walk before you get tired and need to rest and eat. They chopped all that. That's what all of the lumberjack legends is about. Them chopping the trees down on our land in order to overthrow the people, because we intimately connected to all of the nature of the land we from.
Yeah, that's on point though, because that with the Timucua people, man. And even when I did in my study, what I saw was they demonized the the Timucua people and said that they ate alligators like that often. But being down here, if you ever lived in Florida, people just used to it. It doesn't freak people out. They're just part of the community. Regular people down here, we don't get freaked out by seeing alligators. That's just what looked like a nice little lake. We just know, okay, it look to outside, it looked like you can go swimming in there. But your ass get off in there, and then you're going to be a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But it's strange that when you mentioned the part about there was the jaguar there, and then the crocodile here. I found a picture of a jaguar, feasting on a crocodile down in South America. They hunt them, right?
Yeah.
So that's crazy that you said that, and I made a meme with that, with the jaguar snatching the fucking crocodile up out the water, biting him on the back of the neck. So that's on point though, fam. That's on point spiritually. I can agree with you, man. I ain't no young buck in this, and I use wisdom and discernment. I have my own study tools, my own methods, but it's thorough. So when you come with something spiritual, I can pretty much rest assured that your other information is tied to it and linked to it. It ain't got to be 100% correct, but it's that you understand it and you walking in your truth, and your light is shining, and it's a beacon. And people listening, and we appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Salute
All
to
right.
you.
I appreciate you too, brother.
In a real way, that was deep too. Right there, you said OG when you was talking that connection with the trees. The tribe, the southeastern tribes, they used to bury they ancestors in trees. You feel me? So yeah, that was deep right there. But man, I want to appreciate you giving us the time tonight to come through and build with us, man. Shout out to the homie Chief of Chief for making that happen, putting that together. I'm definitely gonna tap back in with you, man. And if you give us another time to shine, this our backup channel over here. They shot me down over there on that Kanye. I played the Kanye video. They shot me down for it on my other channel, but I definitely want to make that connection though. Bring you back on, man. Come rock out with us, man. We're a community, man. American Indians from all over, and we trying to put it back and preserve our ancestors, man. Our truths here, our family connection. We real big on genealogy, telling our story, knowing what happened to us. Going back in our genealogy, finding our family migrations, anybody fought in wars, armies, and putting our story back together. And it's real good to have an OG like you to come through, and especially to be standing on indigenous paradigm, but definitely having that connection, to come, have these messages that you do have. You feel me? So definitely want to appreciate you coming through, rocking with us, man. I hope this ain't the only time. You got some last words or some last words to the people? Hold on, I do have a question for you. If you wanted anybody to know anything about Rod Hayes when this is over with, what would that be? When you're done with your journey, when you did your work, how would you want to be remembered?
I would like for them to be like, when nobody else couldn't see it, he seen it and told us and walked us to the promised land. That right there, that's enough. Once we wake up, if I'm responsible in any kind of way, just remember that I had played a part, but I stood on the shoulders of many giants in order to see what I see. I didn't get here by myself. I didn't do this alone. It was many of us. And many of the elders left many clues for me to put the shit together. And I was perceptive enough to listen to the elders of our people and override the miseducation of the invaders on the land. And I brought us back to an understanding of who we were. I was a contributing factor, but I wasn't the only factor. That's how I would like to be remembered.
That's deep, man. Appreciate your time, OG, man. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Man,
And
I had a blast, man. I enjoyed the conversation. I'm grateful for the invite. We can reach more of our people when we start networking like this. So I'll be glad to come back. Just let me know when you need me. And